After 2 decades of service in D.C., today Speaker of the House and Wisconsin native Paul Ryan says goodbye to Congress. Plus, a rare win for Congress and the White House with a sweeping criminal justice bill on the verge of becoming law.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. Mark is back on Monday. I'm Josh Breiter. First at noon, still mild for us on this Wednesday, but more clouds out there. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield here now with a little bit of a chance of rain in our forecast.
Yeah, I saw a few raindrops this morning when I was out and about, but not too bad. Nothing that a couple of swipes of the wipers couldn't fix. A live-looking Madison at just mostly cloudy skies on the WISC-TV Skycam. Right now at 43 degrees with those cloudy skies at the airport. South wind a little bit on the breezy side at 11 miles per hour. Some other temperatures up to 45 in Basketball, 40 still in Monroe, still in the 30s in Waukesha and Juneau, and 41 in the Dells. But that southerly wind bringing in some slightly warm air. That wind at about 8 to 15 miles per hour out of the south, and I think highs will stay in the mid-40s for today before we head back into the 30s. Temperatures not moving too much with those clouds sticking put, and a couple of rain showers, maybe even with some snowflakes mixing in, especially as we get into tomorrow morning. I'll have a full look at that, plus what to expect leading up to Christmas in your First Alert forecast.
All right, Dave, we'll see you in just a bit. Happening right now, House Speaker Paul Ryan is giving his farewell address after serving 20 years in Congress. His speech is taking place at the Library of Congress. It was originally scheduled for 2 weeks ago, but was rescheduled due to the state funeral of former President George H.W. Bush. Ryan is originally from Janesville. Earlier this year, he announced his retirement from Congress to spend more time with his family. Former Ryan aide Brian Stile won the race to replace him in November and will be sworn in January. You can watch that speech live right now on Speaker Ryan's website as well as on our Channel 3000 Facebook page. 4 prominent Milwaukee leaders will hold top-level cabinet positions under the administration for Governor-elect Tony Evers. Evers' transition team announced the positions this morning. Joel Brennan, the CEO of Discovery World, will serve as his top aide and head up the Department of Administration. Brennan had previously served as campaign manager for Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett. You can read more about the other people selected on our Channel 3000 mobile app. Thousands of inmates could earn faster release under a bill signed by the Senate last night. Nicole Killian reports from Washington, where the president is indicating he'll sign that bill into law.
Has been agreed to.
The Senate vote came Tuesday night. In a rare show of bipartisanship, senators voted 87-12 to approve the First Step Act.
It just proves that when people trust each other, you can sit down and get legislation that's good for the country.
It's a dramatic change. I think it reflects the fact that we realize that just getting muscular and tough on the war on drugs isn't enough. We've got to use our brains.
The bill addresses prison overcrowding and creates a fairer system for nonviolent drug offenders. It eases the 3 strikes rule by reducing a mandatory life sentence for some drug offenders to just 25 years. And it improves early release opportunities and expands job training.
President Trump tweeted about the vote Tuesday, writing that he looks forward to signing it into law and that it will keep communities safer while also saving billions of dollars.
The First Step Act gives people a second chance in this country who are eligible for release from prison and re-entry into society, and that's many Americans.
The House is expected to pass the bill later this week, and then President Trump is expected to sign it. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The law only applies to federal prisoners. Sun Prairie's fire chief is ready to release the findings of their criminal investigation into this summer's deadly gas explosion. The details will be announced tomorrow morning at 11 in the Sun Prairie City Hall council chambers. Court documents previously revealed the gas line that was struck was not properly marked. The markings were located about 25 feet north of where the gas line was actually located. A fire captain with the Sun Prairie Fire Department died during that explosion. Firefighters say a lack of available water caused some problems during a fire in Walworth County. The fire was reported around 6:15 last night on Lake Lorraine Road in the town of Richmond. Multiple departments responded. The fire burned for several hours, but no injuries were reported. We are learning more about a high-speed chase and deadly crash. It started around 8:30 last night when a Dane County deputy tried pulling a car over in the town of Burke. The car sped off at speeds reaching 100 miles an hour. A few minutes later, the car crashed into a pole at Wheeler and School Roads. Both people in the vehicle were taken to the hospital. One person died, and there's no word on the other person's condition. The crash knocked out power to nearly 2,000 people on Madison's north side last night. Madison Police Chief Mike Koval says he will not agree to a contract regarding school resource officers. This comes after some of the contract's language was changed. The school board approved that new agreement Monday, but changed some of the language to make it so the district can fire an educational resource officer if there's a just cause. Chief Koval says he agreed to the contract before the amendments and that the new provision does not align with state law. Common Council still needs to approve the contract before it goes into effect. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr.
If you're cooking a roast this holiday season, don't miss today's special segment, because we're sharing tips and tricks to make you a holiday hero. Hey, do you have your Christmas dinner menu planned out yet? I know some of you are out there rolling your eyes and saying, "Are you kidding? I did mine months ago." While others are rolling your eyes and saying, "Are you kidding? The holiday isn't until next week." No matter where you are in your planning, I want to show you how to cook a Christmas dinner favorite, prime rib. This is a boneless beef ribeye. As you can see, it has what is known as a fat cap, and the meat is well marbled. These together make this super moist and flavorful. To cook it, we place it in a roasting pan, fat side up. Then we rub it with a mixture that we made by combining some Dijon mustard, vegetable oil, brown sugar, a little flour, allspice, and some salt and pepper. We let this roast on high for a few minutes, which seals in the natural goodness. Then we lower the temperature so it cooks low and slow. When the temperature hits 140 degrees on a meat thermometer, we place it on the counter and let it rest for a few minutes. Get ready for lots of oohs and ahs, because once you start slicing this, Everyone at the table is going to be drooling until they get their piece. To get the recipe for our roasted holiday prime rib with its crunchy flavor pack coating, simply visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a holiday special way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Still ahead in this broadcast, rain is possible later today. Our Dave Caulfield is sharing our chances coming up in the First Alert forecast. You're watching News 3 at noon. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline and volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number to call is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Two major healthcare companies plan to merge, and Popeyes is offering emotional support chicken to flyers. Here's Diane King Hall with today's Money Watch report.
Pfizer and GlaxoSmithKline are combining forces to create the world's largest seller of medicine cabinet staples like Advil, Excedrin, and Sensodyne toothpaste. The companies announced a plan to merge their consumer healthcare businesses today. British-based GSK will own about 2/3 of the entity, and Pfizer will have control over 32%. FedEx is slashing its earnings expectations for 2019, citing global economic uncertainty. The shipping giant says express package volume has been lower than expected in Europe. Profit in its latest quarter that ended November 30th did rise to $935 million, but investors are on edge about the company's forecast. Meanwhile, fewer people signed on the dotted line to buy a home last week. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, mortgage application activity fell 5.8%. Lagging demand for new homes fueled the decline as buyers grapple with higher prices and steep borrowing costs. And Popeyes wants to comfort you during this stressful holiday travel season with emotional support chicken. The fast food chain has launched a 3-piece chicken combo meal in a carrying box shaped like a chicken. The box reads, "This chicken provides comfort and nourishment during stressful air travel. Unlike other chickens, it is permitted to fly without restrictions." And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
And a look at Wall Street, both the Dow and NASDAQ are up. The Dow up 247 points, NASDAQ up 45. Time now to check in with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yonke. What do you think, Pam, about that chicken?
Yeah, well, I wish I could grow a whole backyard of that emotional chicken, if you know what I mean. That's a good way to market it up for sure, and that's what it's all about when it comes to food these days, marketing up. And we're marking the ideas that we're going to see an interest rate change, probably an adjustment upward. Don't forget today, first day of meetings for the Federal Reserve. Market is estimating that we're going to see another 1/4 point increase regardless of what's happening with tariffs and trade. Agriculture is paying attention to some of that. We got a big announcement this morning that China is back in for 1.19 million metric ton of U.S. soybeans bound for their market. But again, just like we've seen with the previous 2 announcements, it's not enough to really get the market's attention. We are down substantially on the midday for beans and corn. I told you yesterday that, if you look at year over year, exporting numbers, our corn numbers are not doing terrible. But the announcement by China that they're coming to the U.S. again, just not enough to really convince the trade that this is going to be an ongoing partnership. So we're down on the midday when it comes to that. Starting just after the noon show today, I want to remind you the Professional Dairy Producers of Wisconsin meeting in Madison at the Sheraton Hotel. It's their annual Food and Policy Summit, where they invite dairy farmers to come in and hear about consumer trends, what's happening in the world marketplace, what do dairy buyers outside of Wisconsin want in their products. So if you're in the area and want to join up, it's open to the general public too. It'll continue through tomorrow. Barrel cheese today down a half at 131.5. 40-pound block cheese again unchanged at 141. The AA butter today, Josh, down 2 cents at $2.18 a pound. So keep baking, keep cooking. We can use a little shot in the arm for more of our dairy product prices before we get to next week. Already next week, the holiday season, and I'm guessing the tall, lanky one from New York City doesn't have a whole lot of snow in our forecast for Santa's sleigh.
Yeah, for those wishing for a white Christmas, it isn't looking too good there, Pam.
No.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Now we'll send it over to meteorologist Dave Caulfield with a look at that forecast. Rain over that snow out there today, Dave.
Yeah, we do have a couple of chances for rain coming up in the next few days, and the prospect really not looking good for a white Christmas, which has some emotional. Maybe chicken is your support system, maybe it's other areas, but who am I to judge during this holiday season? Lots of ways to cook a chicken, shall we say. Our December precipitation, we started off pretty active, but really we don't have a lot of precipitation to show for it. We've had a lot of rainy or snowy days, but not necessarily in the final tally. Only an inch of snow all month. That is well below the average. We're actually supposed to get about 13.5 inches of snow in December, believe it or not, and we're less than an inch of liquid equivalency as well. And the last week we've been pretty quiet with high pressure dominating our weather pattern. Maybe some slight changes on the way over the next couple of days. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam looking at cloudy skies, a few raindrops as I was out and about this morning, but not right now. We're looking at forecast high of 42 degrees, still about 10 to 15 degrees above normal for this time of year. Visible cloud track showing the clouds moving in from the south and west, but really not too much to show for it on Doppler track just yet. Wow. And speaking of not being able to show for it, I'm not showing up right now. Man, is this forecast that bad that I have to disappear? I mean, all right, we'll try and get back on the screen anytime, but who needs to see me? We can just look at the radar for now. We did see a couple of showers across portions of southwestern Wisconsin early on this morning. I'm back, folks, back in a New York groove. There's a shout out to Pam there. Temperatures are kind of in a groove that we've been in over the past 5 days or so. 43 in Madison, 45 right now in Janesville, also at 45 in Boswell and Prairie du Chien, 43 in Mineral Point. Being helped, those temperatures are by my Yoda-like speaking and also by that southerly wind. at about 8 to 15 miles per hour. So our rain chances are staying in the probably dry category for a lot of the next 48 hours. The exception is tomorrow morning. We could have a need for the umbrella with some rain and possibly some snow showers mixed in at times on Thursday, but really we're not expecting a major deal or a major impact to your day from these showers. Let me show you what I mean on Future Track. We just had an update to our Future Track model, so it should give us a little bit more of a hint. Not too much showing up today, but across portions of southwestern Wisconsin, that may be a little bit of a different story. So have the umbrella closer to Platteville or Boscobel. You might need it for tonight. Into tomorrow morning, we see some of those rain showers starting to pop up, and then maybe some rain and snow showers of the very light variety falling as we get into later on Thursday, and then we'll start to see those clouds on the decrease Thursday before Friday into the weekend. We look at some quieter weather visiting us leading up to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Temperatures are staying pretty seasonable for this time of year, and maybe a couple of flurries could be falling on Christmas. That might be nice and romantic there. We are looking at the weather turning more active, though, after Christmas Day to end the month of December and end 2018 as a whole year. That is crazy to think about. So a couple of rain and snow showers are possible during that time period, but we'll enjoy this nice weather while we have it. Maybe a couple of rain and snow showers over the next few days, but nothing really to get us too worried about.
I guess if we can't get the snow on the ground, a few flurries on Christmas would be kind of pretty.
That's all you need sometimes, and really that's all we're going to get. So we'll have to be happy with it.
We will. Got to be positive.
Yes.
All right, Dave, thank you. So right ahead on our news at noon, brain-controlled bionic limbs are changing things for amputees. We'll show you how they work and how they're helping to provide with people. Keep watching News 3 at noon. And welcome back. Bionic limbs controlled by the mind. A new technology being developed in Boston is giving amputees newfound mobility. Dr. Malika Marshall has that story.
These smart limbs being developed at MIT are possible because of the Ewing amputation. The procedure, developed between MIT and Brigham and Women's Hospital, protects the nerves and muscles so the limb can continue to communicate with the brain.
When we did our first human patient and we put the bionic limb on him and we saw natural movements emerging through the mechatronics in natural ways, it was truly exhilarating.
MIT professor Hugh Herr helped develop the surgery and is leading development of the robotic limbs. He's also a double amputee himself.
It's sort of like an extension of your body.
Rebecca Mann, a Ewing amputee, tried out the robotic leg.
Pretending I'm pointing and flexing my foot, and I feel my foot pointing and flexing.
Brandon Corona injured his leg in Afghanistan and became the first veteran to have the Ewing amputation.
Being able to kind of have something that I can control with my mind still, even though my foot's not there, it brings everything full circle.
He's now training to run the Boston Marathon in 2020. And this September, Rebecca and Brandon ran the Falmouth Road Race with fellow amputee Tammy Jerome.
We started together, we finished it together, and we pushed each other to be able to do it.
This group was brought together through the Stepping Strong Center, created at the Brigham by the family of marathon bombing survivor Jillian Rennie.
It's a wonderful experience as a researcher to put a robot on their leg and they walk away and start crying or laughing.
The grants awarded by Stepping Strong are part of what made the Ewing amputation possible, paving the way for the future of prosthetics. Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News, Cambridge.
One of the next steps in the prosthetics project at MIT is designing new sockets, improving the communication between the amputation and robotic limb. And I'm glad that you're just here, not disappearing on me again.
Yeah. Hopefully I can stay in one place. Am I going? Which way am I going? I don't know. Which way is this weather going? I think some of us are wondering because we do have the clouds in town now. A live look in Platteville on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam. A few rain showers early this morning, but really nothing too significant this afternoon. A chance of showers, especially west of Madison, temperatures in the 40s. And then we do have some rain and snow showers in the forecast for tomorrow, especially during the morning hours.
All right, Dave, thank you. And thanks for joining us. We'll have more coming up on Live at 4 this afternoon. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.